page 14, eh? Yeah, it means a ministry, department, agency, local government, or public officer in which or in whom the functions of control management of any segment of the environment are vested.
Okay. When you read section 55, it talks about what?
Chair, section 55 talks about protection of wetlands. And
a person shall not, without the written approval of the relevant lead agency,
yes,
given in consultation with the authority. So the local government is a lead agency.
The lead agency for wetlands management, as of the administrative structure now, it's more than one. We have Ministry of Water and Environment, which is the Department of Wetland Management, and then respective local governments and urban authorities. They are also lead agencies in their respective jurisdiction. They have jurisdiction over the wetlands.
No, I'm looking at the punctuation that accompanies the word. A lead agency means a ministry, comma, a department, agency, local government, or public officer in which or in whom the functions of control or management of any segment of the environment is vested. So they are not all of them added or conglomerated. Any of them is a lead agency. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Lastly, Chair, you have activities permitted under the law to be undertaken in the wetlands. Chair, these can be found under Schedule 6 of National Environment Act 2019. It's on page 163. Page 163 of the National Environment Act, Schedule 6, derived from sections 54, 55, and 181. And they are listed as regulated activities in wetlands. They include brick making, recreation activities, including sport fishing and maintenance of green spaces, cultivation, sand and clay mining, drainage, commercial exploitation of wetland resources, sewage filtration, fishing using fishing gear and weirs, fish farming and other aquaculture, construction of transport and communication facilities, including roads, railways, and telephone lines, burning, and lastly, any exploitative activity which is of commercial or trade nature, including harvesting of papyrus for commercial purposes. I need to add, Chair, that whereas these activities are permitted as regulated activities, they have to go through a due process to obtain this permission.
Yes.
Chair, the second issue that you raised is notice given to the people. Chair, under Section 133 of the National Environment Act, a person must be given the due notice. A restoration order must be served on that person, and the restoration order gives the person 21 days within which to challenge the order or to confirm that the order is correct and therefore take action to restore the environment. So the restoration orders that have been issued had 21 days as per Section 133.
Okay, thank you.
Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kankwa, at large, that for all the 200 and how many? Where are you reading from? Because what I have, 315, you issued then relevant notices to these households?
And we have provided a list by name, which we have annexed to this report.
Yes, I've seen the list. That's where we are drawing the numbers from. Can you share with us the notices, copies of the notices you issued to each of these?
Chair, we can compile them and submit them to the committee.
Yes, let's get them tomorrow by close of business. Okay. From what you said, I think, yes, that was a specific question. I perfectly say that people who operate those regulated activities need to go through the process. Under Section 9, you're required, as you did inform us, to do environmental awareness. And the first question relates to those people who are earning a living through the sale of flowers, like you said, on the roadside within Lubiji. As part of your awareness creation, did you have an interface with them? And where? And who are they? We are not yet at those ones who built houses. Let's look at those people growing mayuni in that wetland, which you said is permissible. Yes. When, where, and with who did you have an awareness interface?
Thank you, Chair, for the question. Chair, we do have a Department of Education and Public Awareness, and this conducts routine awareness to the general population about matters relating to environment, procedures through which you can go through to obtain or use particular segments of the environment. And these programs are limited by the resources we have, but within the limitation of resources we have had radio programs, we have had TV appearances as well, and we also sensitize through the schools. In respect to specific question on roadside people, these came in before obtaining any permissions, and so we did not engage them specifically apart from asking them to first vacate, and then if they have to obtain permission to use, they should go through the due process.
So for them, you concede you did not give them notice?
No, they were given notice, Chair, like any other.
What is it that would stop you from engaging those people? I mean, on how to apply through your awareness program? Because we give you money for awareness. And those are some of the people, really low basic individuals, surviving, earning a small living, taking their children to school. And this is not an expensive venture, even when you talk about resources. You have the resources to go and slash their yams, those flowers, very, very basic, innocent plants. But you don't have the resources to do awareness for them. Are you putting on a human face? Is NEMA a human, is NEMA a national authority for human beings? Dr. Akankwasa, tell me.
Thank you very much. Chair, whereas these people may be seen as people that are vulnerable, which indeed some of them are, some of them can be used to establish themselves in wetland. We've seen these cases after occupying space for a given period of time, they create a window for others to come.
That is absolutely true.
Yes, and then
How about your
claim.
regulation? Because when you sensitize them, you monitor, you even know who is occupying how much space, together with your partners in local governments. Okay? I mean, you're talking about Lubiji, which is a 10, 15 minutes drive from your offices. I mean, you have not even done it. You are presuming that, well, they have those spiteful and criminal minds. Indeed, when your legal officer was making reference to Section 55, she read into words into the statute by using the words, they are deemed to be doing a criminal activity. As a lawyer, she knows. At some point, we had a law called the Prevention of Corruption Act, 1970, which presumed that every public servant who has money or who receives money receives it corruptly. And with the current constitutional regime, it was declared unconstitutional because it deems and presumes somebody to have a criminal mind. I have asked you a specific question, whether you, in your program of awareness, met with those people, sensitized them on how to obtain a permit to operate what is otherwise allowed but regulated activities. And your concession is, no, you went on radio.
Chair, may I?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Before their engagements, and I am sure we can trace engagement reports of these people, especially the flower people. That one, I think we can.
The two statements are inconsistent with each other. The first is, I'm sure. The second, I think. Those cannot move in the same sentence.
Chair, I am sure because I've seen a report on previous engagement.
Do you have somebody in charge of this department here?
Chair, like we said, the responsibility to manage wetlands is not directly with NEMA. It is directly with the Department of Wetlands Management. So we don't have a department.
Where is that department in the ministry?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just before, before going to do the slashing, would it not be prudent to have an engagement with that department to ensure that such which are integral elements of due process were complied with? Would it not be prudent?
Chair, that's true.
Did the prudence visit you to do it?
Yes, Chair.
Did you? Therefore, you did.
Yes, and that's why I was saying I've seen a report. I wasn't there in person, but I've seen a report, and this report is a joint report. The engagements was done by the department and the NEMA together. So these engagements.
What were the resolutions of the engagement?
The resolutions, I need to cross-check on the report, Chair. I may not have the resolutions on my head, but we can cross-check and even share.
Don't put them on your head. Put them in the head.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
We can cross-check
on
the report and confirm.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I want NEMA to be very specific, because not everybody can say wetland and know it is wetland.
Before 2019 Act, Cap 153, the 1995 Act defined a wetland as a place which is seasonally or permanently flooded with water, and because of that flooding, plant life has adapted to that situation. That was CAP 153. In 2019, this was amended. And the words "and has been gazetted as such" was added to that definition in 2019. And consequently, government has, through legal notice number 14 of 2023, complied with that requirement and has gazetted all these wetlands. So we now have a gazette under legal notice number 14 of 2023.
Okay, would you share with us the gazette you're referring to?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Chair, regarding selective application.
No, just before that, now that you have
Kanungu district.
from Kanungu,
Yes,
do you go through Mbarara?
sure.
With that definition, do you agree with me that 50% of the stretch where you go through before you reach Kanungu is a wetland?
Not sure about.
Drive after Mbarara, immediately after Mbarara town, the road going to Bushenyi, continue to Ntungamo, you agree with me that all those houses are in a wetland by that definition?
Is it
Along that road.
Seasonally or permanently flooded?
The words, yes.
If the place is seasonally or permanently flooded, yes. The answer would be yes.
And
But most of the Kampala roads are flooding seasonally, so what
Exactly.
about them?
Chair, majority of them
are all
in,
those houses down?
majority of them are in wetlands, especially roads,
Yes.
and actually that's part of the problem.
For
Chair.
for the roads, I agree with you. But for the buildings next to the roads, for the roads, because they are already provided for in the schedule. How about the houses? What has stopped you from bringing them down?
Chair, the enforcement exercise is just beginning, and because we've been limited.
Why would
by,
it begin with these poor people?
Not Chambogo.
Chair, we have not begun with the poor people, because when we are enforcing, we wouldn't know who owns. You may have a plot where you
Dr.
have...
Kankwasa, take this committee serious. Even by looking at the buildings, you are not able to tell who is who.
Chair, we have seen on TV somebody claiming 6 houses, 1 person in Rubiji. They have come on screen themselves. I wouldn't take that person to be poor.
But by looking at the house itself.
Maybe the tenants may be poor.
No, when you look at the house itself, you are not able to tell that this is a poor person, especially when you are coming from Kanungu.
Chair, the definition of a poor person is subjective. If we go to how we define a poor person, it would require detailed assessment to confirm who is poor, using our definition of poor.
Was your father permanent secretary?
Not at all.
Was he a district education officer?
He was a peasant, Chair.
Was he a poor man?
Yes, poor man.
Okay. Now let's take the standard of your father. Among those people you evicted in Lubiji, is there a person within the same generic string of your father?
Oh, I have not compared the Chair.
Now you can compare
their income.
Because you have seen both your father and those people.
I've not compared my father's income and their income, so
Okay.
I wouldn't tell whether they are
You're
in
going
the same.
to, one or the other, you're going to answer that question when you're answering the one on selective application.
Yes, Chair, the other issue is selective application, which has been a big issue. Chair, the situation is like this. There are developments that our assessment found in wetlands. Some of them, we issued them restoration orders. A good example is Starbucks fuel station, which has been talked about in the media. When we issued them with the restoration order, they came with the documents. NANSANA approval, NEMA approval, the issues that Honorable Kwizera was raising documents of other government agencies approving, including NEMA, some time back. Now, when we have these approvals, demolishing such a person would attract legal liability to government. And so that's why when they appealed the restoration orders, that's why we didn't demolish them, and we are undertaking due diligence.
The restoration orders were vacated. And I agree with you that that would attract legal liability. But let me ask you a question, which is non-legal. Does the permit itself change it from being a wetland to something else?
Chair, no.
Does it have the same impact it would have on the environment as if it had not been approved?
Chair, when it goes through an approval, you assess. There is a process of assessment of environment and social impacts.
Correct.
And development of environment and social impact management plan. So the approval comes with guidance to minimize the impact. So the approved one and the non-approved one may not have the same impact.
So that small house next to Starbucks would impact more negatively on the environment because it has not been guided than Starbucks guided, notwithstanding the mass with which it is constructed, the concrete, and the size, etc. The small house would have a much bigger effect.
Chair, the idea of the two there, we should have had a wetland there.
Correct. Does NEMA have a power, a regulatory function, of stopping somebody from constructing in a wetland?
Yes, Chair.
And that is in Section 9.
Yes, Chair.
The question therefore comes back.
The capacity NEMA has, even now, cannot effectively prevent that even in one district or even in the city of Kampala alone.
When did you become executive director of NEMA?
2 years ago, Chair, and some months.
Before and after, have you used that northern bypass?
Yes, Chair.
Going back to Kanungu?
Yes, Chair.
Have you been seeing those houses?
Which houses, Chair?
Those houses you demolished along that route. As you go to Sega, on your way to Kanungu?
No. The demolitions were, Chair, in Uganda, in Nansana, and some parts of Busega.
When you are using the bypass, you do not see that side of Uganda. You can't see those houses.
You mean looking at the existence?
Yes.
Or?
I mean,
Chair, the stop, as you have seen, dates back to 2012. So the stop and chasing and
we are talking about your 2 years.
Yeah, in my 2 years, we've done operations in Rubiji twice, just in 2 years alone.
Okay.
In 2022 and 2023.
Proceed with your selective application of the law.
Chair, that was the issue. The issue is that there are some facilities that were established in wetlands, but with government approval. And so breaking them now would attract liability to government. And because of that prudence, that's why we have not broken them. But like I said, we have not yet given up on them. We are reviewing their conditions so that we see whether there is a breach.
Okay. Dr. Akankwasa, have from Munyonyo to Kajansi.
Yes, Chair.
Have you seen any encroachment on any wetland on your left as you drive?
Absolutely.
Have you done anything? Did you approve that encroachment?
They also under our investigation are the flats. They also have a previous approval.
The flats?
The apartments.
The apartments?
Near Kajans flyover. They also have certificates which we are investigating.
Those ones on your left?
Yes, yes. On
But
the
if-
left, yes.
If
you are
they
coming
have
from
your
Munyonyo.
certificates, what are you investigating? And how long do you need to investigate them?
These are certificates not issued by myself or in recent
By
2
NEMA?
years by NEMA. And so we have to look at the process. We have also some forged documents. People can pose that they have approvals when they are forged. So we have to get the file from its beginning to its certificate, but also we have to assess whether there is compliance with the conditions of approval of these certificates if they are deemed genuine.
So for those ones, you have documents
Yes, we have documents.
issued by NEMA.
Yes, sure.
Would you share with us?
100%.
Will you also share with us the land titles for those particular developments? Because when
land
someone is asking for your approval, he attaches ownership in form of land titles.
That's correct, Chair.
Would you share the land titles with us also?
Yes, Chair.
Have you also heard that resort? There is piling of soil in the lake. Have you heard about it?
I have seen a video on the social media. There are 2 cases in Munyonyo.
Was it a matter of interest to you?
Yes. We had investigated it
Have you
before.
followed it up?
Yeah, we had already, before the video came.
You approved?
We had not at all. We had, yes, there are 2 cases. One is recent degradation next to Speak Resort, which we've discovered got a certificate of approval dating, I need to check, I think either 2013 or something, very long time ago, but had not started, so we've stopped those ones. Since they have not yet started, we have stopped them. We first studied the situation.
Have you asked them to restore?
Yes, we've issued the restoration order there.
Okay.
That's the site next to Munyonyo
Yeah,
Resort.
next to Munyonyo Speak Resort.
Then
Who is degrading?
I need to check the name, but we have the certificate. We have the certificate.
No. Now, on this one, Dr. Kankwasa,
Yes.
get one of your staff to get the documents, and you answer that question before you leave here.
Chair, I can get it from my iPad.
Please get
I have it.
Have you heard about
have it.
At Chituburu?
Chituburu,
Again, next to another something which is...
Chituburu case, Chair, is 2021 case.
No.
That's the one I know in Chituburu, 2021 case of Speak Resort.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had lots of contestations with that development in 2021. That's when we suspended the construction for 6 months. The contestation was Speak Resort, I think, bought the former Sese Gateway Beach.
Correct.
So the former Sese Gateway Beach, when the water level was increased, water came backwards and occupied, I think it was about, they talked of 5 acres. But the good news is that where there was the docking point for the beach, there was a cover, a shelter. This shelter is still in water and can be seen even now. So the argument of Speak...
What does that mean? That the water encroached?
There is no doubt about it, because we even have the maps.
The
water levels went up, and it ate a significant part of the plot which was formerly Sese Gateway Beach.
Actually, before it became Sese Gateway Beach, it was somebody's residence. Somebody called Swaibu Narumenya. I have ever been seen swimming in that lake.
Yes.
So I have a picture of a photographic memory of that place.
On this one,
I'm going to ask you for documentation in terms...
Sure. This one I've been there in person. I've been there because I'd just come to the lake.
No.
The law protects the lake.
To what extent?
Wherever the lake is.
No, to the extent that I do not encroach on the lake.
Yes.
But the law does not give my land to the lake.
Where the law protects the lake. So if the lake has taken over your land, it is the lake now. So for us, we are protecting the lake.
Under what law, Dr. Akankwasa?
Lake shores, river banks, and wetland regulations. If the water levels, like now, water levels have gone up, so certain beaches have been eaten up. You cannot say my land was extending into the lake by an extra 200 meters. Not at all.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Why then did you eventually allow the developer at Chitubulu to reclaim?
No, we did not allow him to reclaim at all. Not at all. This is verifiable. You can visit as a committee. There is no single inch of reclamation because we had a battle there, and they had to be forced to restructure their plans to fit in the remaining dry land. And in fact, they have not even built the infrastructure. They have only put the fence outside. So there is no reclamation of any sort. Not at all.
Okay.